Today I'm going to be building my dream 4K box set in response to Tim Talks Talkies community challenge to do just that. So let's rock. Hi everyone, welcome back. I'm Fuzz. So Tim Talks Talkies just recently issued a bit of a challenge to the physical media BluTube community for us to create our own custom 4K dream box sets, right? So if you could pick any 5 titles that have not been released on 4K and put them together in a box, what would those titles be? Well, when I first saw Tim's video, my mind immediately went to Tony Scott, which may not be a surprise to anybody who's been following my channel for the last month. I did recently, about a month ago, put out a Tony Scott tribute / ranking video, and I indicated at the time I am a huge Tony Scott fan. So yeah, I had to jump all over this dream 4K box set opportunity here. But I wanted to take it a little bit further and just narrow it down a little bit more, because if I were to pick my dream Tony Scott box set, it would probably have like 8 or 9 movies on 4K in it, right? Because I'm just such a big fan of Tony Scott. But I started thinking about it and I realized I'm also a huge fan of Denzel Washington. In fact, Denzel is actually my favorite actor of all time. So, started thinking about it, and it's like put together my favorite director of all time, or one of them, with my favorite actor of all time. And it just so happens that Denzel Washington made 5 movies with Tony Scott. So my idea for my dream box set is the Tony Scott, Denzel Washington solid gold collaboration box. Huh? What do you think? Good? Yeah? I mean, you could even put like a little gold foil around the box or something, you know, make it a little extra classy. I don't know. I might need to work on the title for that. But that's what I would do. Denzel Washington and Tony Scott. I mean, what a combo, right? So what are we talking about here? Well, the films we're talking about, we'd start off with, of course, Crimson Tide, right? An amazing Tony Scott film, one of my favorites, and one of the best submarine movies of all time as well, in my view. This has just got stellar performances from Denzel and Gene Hackman. You got other great people in there too, like Viggo Mortensen. So yeah, Crimson Tide would be my first choice for my dream 4K box set. The next one I'd go with, another one of my favorite Tony Scott movies and Denzel movies, Man on Fire. This is an incredible film that we desperately need on 4K. I think this actually has one of Denzel Washington's best performances, a career best performance for Denzel Washington. Second maybe to only Training Day, right? But such an incredible film. We really need this on 4K. So this would definitely also be included in my Tony Scott box set. Next up, we have Deja Vu. Again, another incredible movie. This is a blast, and it's got a great cast. You got Val Kilmer in there. You got Jim Caviezel, and of course, Denzel, right? So yeah, Deja Vu is definitely a must-have on 4K title for me. Tony Scott's final movie, Unstoppable. Awesome film. I actually saw this in the theater, and I wish I'd known at the time that I was watching the final Tony Scott film. But great performances by Denzel Washington and Chris Pine, and you got some other good people in there as well. Action-packed. You get practical effects. I think they actually derailed a train for this film, or something along those lines. So yeah, if you've never seen Unstoppable, I definitely want to see this one on 4K. And then the final one that I would include in this, and this one's a little bit, I'm on the fence with this one. We talk about my dream 4K box set, right? But I suppose if I was making my dream Tony Scott box set, I might not include this title. But because it's Denzel, got to do it. And that is Taking of Pelham 123. Now, it's a good remake. It's a solid film. But I'll admit, it's not one of my favorite Tony Scott films. Even though Taking of Pelham 123 wouldn't make my ideal Tony Scott box set, it seemed like it would be kind of weird to have a Tony Scott box set with 4 Denzel movies and then one random non-Denzel Tony Scott movie in here. So I figured the Denzel thing just kind of works better thematically if I'm going to do a Tony Scott box set. That's why I ultimately focused on the Denzel Washington, Tony Scott collection on 4K. These 5 films, right? I mean, this would be a killer box set. And let's face it, Denzel is awesome, right? I mean, who wouldn't buy a Denzel Washington box set? Seriously. Tony Scott movies or otherwise, people love Denzel. So I have to assume that this kind of box set would sell like hotcakes. We desperately need a lot more Tony Scott movies on 4K. I mean, we have some of his earlier films. Of course, we have Top Gun. We have Days of Thunder. We have Beverly Hills Cop. And of course, we have True Romance. But we don't have any 4K releases from the second half of Tony Scott's career. And to me, that's when he did all his best films. And of course, the reason we haven't seen more Tony Scott films on 4K is because many of his films are under the Disney umbrella. Whether it be 20th Century Fox, Touchstone Pictures, Hollywood Pictures, Disney controls all that. And as we know, Disney doesn't have a track record for treating physical media collectors with a whole lot of respect, do they? They don't seem too interested in putting out many titles on 4K. And it's really frustrating, right? Because they're sitting on this massive vault of titles from 20th Century Fox and Touchstone that they could be making a killing off of if they were just to release these things in 4K. So yeah, next to James Cameron, I think Tony Scott films are sorely needed on 4K. Yeah, James Cameron's the easy, low-hanging fruit, right? We all know we need The Abyss on 4K. We need Aliens. We need True Lies on 4K. We need all those on 4K. But setting aside James Cameron films, yeah, Tony Scott films are desperately needed on this format. I think it's a travesty. It's almost criminal that his later films haven't been released on 4K yet. So yeah, my dream 4K box set would be the Tony Scott Denzel Washington collection. And that about wraps it up for me today. Keeping it a little bit shorter today, not quite as long as my usual videos. So if you're enjoying the content, please do me a favor and subscribe to the channel and like the videos. It really helps out with the algorithm. Let me know what you think of this idea in the comments. I'd love to hear your thoughts on this. And if you've got your own ideas for the perfect 4K box set, please feel free to share them with me. I'd love to see what your ideas are. Thank you for watching. I really appreciate your support, and I'll see you real soon.